Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of AUHSD Future Talks. I'm your host, Michael Matsuda, the Superintendent of the Anaheim Union High School District. And as our 7,000 plus podcast listeners know, that this show is all about the future of education, not only for our students, but for students across California and across America. We're very, very fortunate today to have two amazing principals from our school district, Lorena Moreno and Bindi Crawford. Say hi to everybody, ladies.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Thank you. We're going to hear their stories a little bit, but today we're going to be talking about school redesign and the consolidation of a junior high and a senior high into a 7 through 12 school redesigned by our stakeholders, teachers, students, principals, and parents all involved. So we're going to hear much more about that exciting issue, because I know across California, many districts are faced with the same challenges, and this is truly an opportunity to rethink the purpose of K-12 education. So Bindi Crawford, I'm going to start with you about your story and who you are and how you got here.
All right. Well, first generation East Indian here, born and raised. Parents came over here. They probably wanted me to be a doctor or a scientist, and I chose a completely different route. I'm very proud of it, and they're very proud of me. Started off about 10 years as a school counselor at district in LA County, and from then jumped into the boat of being an administrator and went through the rounds of covering all the different aspects and different parts of a school as an assistant principal at the high school level. Got to do some really amazing things in supporting the first LA County high school to earn ramp status for our counselors, and worked with an amazing counseling team there. Partnered with Cerritos College to create the first early college program coming out of pandemic. And then once pandemic hit, our kids came back very different from before pandemic. And it became very clear to me that we needed to focus on the whole child and relationships. And that's something that Anaheim Union High School District was doing already well before the pandemic, and had taken a lot of steps prior to pandemic to meet the needs of the whole child and to measure students in a different way. And so in 2022, I had the opportunity to take over all my stuff and bring it over to Anaheim, and join the AUHSD family at Orangeview Junior High School as the junior high principal here at Orangeview Junior High School.
Thank you, Bindi. We're so grateful to you for making that decision, because we're really appreciative of your leadership and the fact that you are coming as a former counselor. That's huge. So Lorena, your turn. Let's hear a little bit about you.
Thank you, Lorena Moreno. Like Bindi, I'm also an immigrant, Mexican descent. My family immigrated to the United States when I was 8 years old. So most of my early schooling experience was through an English learner experience. So that's where I developed a deep passion for English language learners and advocating for English language learners. And that led my pathway in terms of educational journey to become a teacher. I was a teacher in a dual language program, one of the founding programs in Cambridge, Massachusetts, as I was doing my master's work there. When I returned to California, I came looking for a teaching assignment. But because of my experience in dual language program as a teacher, I was offered a Title VII coordinator position, where that school in that time in 1994 were starting their first dual language immersion program. From there, my journey continued to be an administrator. I served as an assistant principal and a principal before joining Anaheim Union High School District as the principal at Dale Junior High. And I was there for 6 years. And now I'm starting my third year here at Western High School as the school principal.
And doing a phenomenal job, both of you. And I'm really proud of the district for really hiring women of color who are are comfortable in their skin and feel affirmed, just as what we're trying to do with students. So let's get into the main piece here, which is about school redesign. And again, for our audience, because of declining enrollment, our district, like many throughout California, having to deal with school consolidation. That's a nice word for school closure. And it's going from junior high and senior high, physically separate schools, but feeder schools, into a 7 through 12 school. And recently, over July, the key stakeholders from your schools, teacher leaders, students, some parents, came together for a 2-day retreat to really see this as an opportunity to redesign. So can you share with the audience, what were your takeaways from that 2-day retreat? Because so much of this is about setting the table for the entire communities, and it's also about changing school culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the things, as you mentioned, that we're struggling with is declining enrollment, but also attendance and student engagement, right? So during this retreat, we really talked about this is an opportunity, as we're consolidating our 2 schools to become 1 7-12, to rethink how we do schooling for our students and to do some radical dreaming. So I'd like to share with you a story about a teacher that shared with us how her performance task assessment project really addresses this attendance and engagement issue in her class. So our community schools teacher shared with us that she was having very low attendance in one of her periods. So she was very intentional about creating a performance task assessment where students had to use their basic Spanish skills and some entrepreneurship skills to develop a project. And she shared that during the time of that project, she had 100% student attendance and engagement because it was relevant, it was rigorous, and it was culturally responsive to the learning of our students. So this is just one example of the possibilities of what teaching could look like when we're looking at some of the key features of a school redesign and school reform efforts. So that's one of the things that, we learned at our 2-day retreat, and I'm excited that we're going to continue encouraging our teachers to provide those kind of learning opportunities for our students.
It's awesome. Go ahead.
So just a little history, Mike, this could have easily been something that a lot of districts are going through, where we all have declining enrollment. California is actually decreasing in population over the last couple of years due to people moving out, fewer babies, high cost of living here. And, we're not immune to that whatsoever here in our area. And this could have easily been a consolidation or just a merger of 2 schools coexisting together, and you just work through it. I'm really proud of our community, our student voice, our student leaders, and even our teaching staff and our classified staff who took an opportunity to say, okay, this is happening, but we need to drive and change what experience our kids have in their secondary school experience, because our kids are different. They don't fit that factory model anymore of going from bell to bell. Their needs are different. And to be perfectly honest, technology is changing faster than we can even keep up with at this point.
Yes.
You look at the rollout of different social media models or different even ed tech tools, it's just speeding up. And so we're not looking at memorization. We're not looking at things that we traditionally or in our experiences may have needed, and our teachers recognize that. So the key takeaways were, what we're doing is not working for all, if not the majority of our students anymore, and we need to look at that. And one of the Western teachers shared what they are doing, and other people shared their experiences of what is working. And we established very, very quickly that one of the baseline things that we want to focus on during our redesign of what school looks like is to have something that's built off relationships. We're looking at things like blog scheduling. We're looking at innovative methods of not just having that time together, but what are we doing? How are we designing our lessons to make the most of that time together? So I'm excited because it was a great launch point for us, and the realization is we need to root everything we do in relationships and having a key person for every student, regardless of their academic ability, their background, and what they have going on.
Yes. So I know you principals don't speak for all stakeholders at your sites, but what would you say are your strengths as we move into the redesign phase?
Well, I think Bindi and I both agree that, the strengths are the people, right? That if we invest in the people that we have, that's our number one asset. We have a lot of strong and innovative teachers at Western. This year, we have 6 student teacher candidates that are being mentored by teachers at Western from Cal State Long Beach and UCI. We have very strong CTE pathways that we offer not only at Western, but in our district, and particularly at Western, we have the incubator lab that we partner with ROP, and we are offering our entrepreneurship and innovation program for students so they could launch business-grade products. So that's something that we're partnering with ROP so that students have that entrepreneurship mindset. And then we're partnering with Virtual Enterprise, where our students are going to have an opportunity to pitch their business at a national level and compete against other schools. Here at Western, we already have a foundation of an advisory program. So as we take a deep dive in creating these small learning communities, what is the role of advisory period? Again, this idea that students are with small teams of teachers for a prolonged period of time. And a strong sports program, right? We have a strong sports program at Western and our Creator Academy that emphasizes broadcast media and commercial photo and multimedia. So there's a lot of strong foundations already here at the high school level.
And you guys have a strong ROP community health program that's growing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to draw upon. Bindi, how about you?
So one of the things that I'm so proud of is the relationship that Orangeview, not just our teachers and staff and community, but our students and our community have with Western. And so a lot of these things that Lorena's talking about, we've worked really hard over the past 3 years to make sure that we're aligned so that kids don't feel like they're starting again when they get to high school. A lot of the same faces that they see, our community schools leads work together. We hold our coffee with the principals together. Junior high is the onboarding of students in the beginning of them having autonomy and choice and voice in what they do when they come from elementary schools. And we launched that. I'm very proud of our students who have presented at the county level and at statewide events for soapbox speeches at the junior high level. This last year, we had 6 students present at the county level and at the state level. Very proud of our students and the work that they do with their Got Rights projects. They're out in the community. We are one of the first Puente junior high programs in Southern California and have a great strong articulation partnership. We just graduated that first graduating class last year, actually 2 years ago. And so, but what I'm most proud of are our people. Our people truly make the heartbeat of our community. They are caring. Our students are amazing. And you can see that through all of the data points that we have. And so when we survey our students every year for LCAP, Mike, overwhelmingly over 75-80% of our students report that they feel heard, that they feel safe, that they have an adult they can go talk to. And so that is really building oneself in junior high. They can launch into all these amazing programs at Western.
That's awesome from both of you. A lot of assets going into this. We were very lucky to have the chair of the State Board of Education and one of the national thought influencers on education, Linda Darling-Hammond, and she led the day with opening comments. So why do you think the State Board of Education leader, Dr. Darling-Hammond, would want to support this initiative, and what were the key takeaways from her presentation?
Well, all I can say is wow. I've read her work before. Listening to her and hearing her brought such an energetic buzz into the room for her validations for the work that we're doing already, and how she sees that the systems that we have set up already is really opening up this opportunity to reshape and redesign what education looks like for the modern student, right? And so it's an opportunity to have the key ideas that she presented were that she recognized that relationships were important. She engaged in our group. She was very clear that teachers need time to connect with their students. And so we hope to create a system through our homeroom, advisories, block scheduling, where we can truly bond and create lasting relationships to invigorate and excite students to really hit all of their potentials at a very early age and just explore.
Yeah. Well, it's Bindi said, right? Linda Darling-Hammond is a scholar in school reform and implementation. So it was really an honor to have her be part of our work. And declining enrollment is a state thing, right? Probably a national thing. So here we have an opportunity to really rethink and reimagine what schools can be like. And she did do a shout out to our district, right? Because as a district, we already have a lot of the foundation of some of this innovative programs that we're doing, like our AIM internship program, our strong CTE pathways, our community schools teams, strong partnerships with our college partners through our Anaheim Pledge, right? So the foundation for some of the school reform is there. Now we just need to take it to the next level in terms of what does that look like on a daily basis for students as they come to a 712 high school. So a key takeaway for us was really to focus on education for the whole child, right? Where we're looking at a student in terms of academic, emotionally, and socially as well. So that's very important that she talked about, and really using the science of learning into our pedagogy, right? So really using what we know about the brain science into the development of our lessons. We took a deep dive into 5 of the features that she talks about, right? So as Bindi explained, positive relationships, a safe and inclusive climate, culturally responsive teaching as the example that our community schools teacher shared with us, deeper learning curriculum, and authentic assessment. So those were some of the key things that we learned from Dr. Darling-Hammond.
Yeah, I think the challenge is to keep the momentum going forward, right? So what are the key next steps in your minds?
You want to go, Bindi, or you want me to take it?
That's okay. I think the challenge is we need to recreate the excitement and the buzz from our retreat with our teacher leaders and our community leaders and our students that were present, and share that and get the ideas flowing for how we can reimagine school for our entire community. And that is the key thing. I'm so proud of our teacher leaders that were there already, because that has been the mantra since we left, is how are we rolling this out to our staff so they feel the same way we do? You know, how do we introduce them to these ideas that Linda Darling-Hammond had and shared with us in the same manner in which she energized our group? And so we're working on that. Both Lorena and teachers from Lorena School, from Western and from Orangeview, are already connecting to create how we roll that out. And then not only on our staff, but we need to tap into our students. We need to tap into our alumni, our future students, and also our community, because through open conversations, we're going to keep building on better ideas. And we put all of our power together, and we really are going to be able to create something really special. And I cannot wait to stand out to the rest of our community and the rest of our educational partners to see what we really can create when the glass ceiling is open to being shattered.
Right.
Yeah, I just like to add, I think as humans, right, our visceral reaction is the first thing we are going to go to. So I think that last year, as we were working through it, we were really hearing a lot of the fear from students, staff, and community. But I think now we made that shift. And now we're really talking about the benefits and how this could look different, right? So I think just in terms of the human response, we have shifted from the fear to the radical dreaming action of it, right? So that's really exciting.
And that fear is also based in people assuming that it's going to be the same way it's been for when they were in school. Because let's be real, Mike, school really hasn't changed all that much since many of us went to school decades, more than several decades ago. The systems, and a lot of them for most districts outside of ours, has been the same and remains to stay same within limits of what already exists.
So this is a brand new airplane, right? And you are building it while flying it. There's a lot of folks who listen to this podcast outside of the district, and I'm sure interested in this conversation. So what are some of the things that you've learned that you would share with colleagues that want to start this process?
Like Bindi and I have had an opportunity to visit some other schools in the area that are doing some school reform. So that has been great to connect with teachers and leaders, right? Because I think it's important to also hear from the leadership experience on school reform. And begin with assets, right? I think one of the things that we did in our 2 days in our retreat is going back to your question about what are some strengths that we already have. So really kind of taking an inventory. What are some of the assets that we already have at our school that could build a foundation to school reform and we could take to the next level, really leveling up, right? And then seeking critical friends, right? Having a group of critical friends that guide us and connect us with other educators that are doing some of this work, that has been critical for Bindi and I to know that we have a community of critical friends that we could go to for guidance, consultation, and collaboration.
Well, principals, we're so proud of the work that you've done leading your respective schools to consolidate into one school community. Again, Orangeview Junior High, Western High School, the home of Tiger Woods, the home of Randy Sheckman, a Nobel Prize winner in biology, went to Western and Orangeview as well. So you have a great tradition, and it's going to be a new airplane, an amazing airplane, a whole new design. So again, best of luck to you. We have your back as a district, and we look forward to hearing more when you're finished with the airplane. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.